Alright, so the main goal for every student is when they start working is to study as long as possible. And that's a really good approach, but there's just that one problem. They don't know how to study for long hours. And there's so many factors that affect that simple statement. But if you follow the tips that I'll provide to you in this video, then I can guarantee you'll be able to study longer than you thought you could with more focus and concentration, so you can get as many tasks as you want to complete and so you can get the top marks on your test. So let's get straight into the video. Alright, tip number one is to break everything down. Whenever a student sits down, they check what they have to complete. And usually that task list is a very big task list and they get overwhelmed. This increases your stress and increases your chances of procrastinating, and you do not want that. So what you want to do is you want to write all these tasks down on a piece of paper, on your whiteboard, on a computer, anywhere you want to, as long as you can keep track of what tasks you have completed, what tasks you haven't completed. This is a really good way to track your progress whilst you're studying. It helps to reduce your procrastination or your temptation to procrastinate, because you know you have to get all of these tasks done by the end of the day. And so it helps you to focus and concentrate more whilst you're studying, which obviously means you'll be able to study much longer than you would before. Tip number two is to take scheduled breaks. Now, if you've seen one of my previous videos, I did make a 1 hour long study with me where I studied for 30 minutes and took a 5-minute break and then got back to the 30 minute study. This is known as a Pomodoro technique, and it's a type of way of taking scheduled breaks. Taking scheduled breaks is very important because it helps you to stay motivated during your studying, because you know you've got something to look forward to at the end of your studying. So it helps you to develop a routine like you have in school, because you have scheduled lunch times and break times, and so you have to study in the allocated times of your lessons, and you can apply that same technique at home when you're doing your work. And it's much better than taking unscheduled breaks because you don't know when you need to take breaks, so it's best to follow the scheduled way of you studying, and that can really also help you to study for the longest hours. Tip number three is all about your study environment, how and where you study. Now, you probably know this already, but you can't study in a place full of distractions. It's just not a way to study effectively. So places like the living room, the kitchen, or outside where there's lots of noise, these are all places you want to avoid while studying. And so what you want to do is you want to study in a place where it's quiet, where there's a sufficient amount of light, and obviously where there's full of space where you can put all your books down and start writing. You do not need to have a desk to study. You can study wherever you want, but you just have to make sure it's a place that you know there's minimized distractions and there's more focus. And this obviously helps you to study longer because you've got a good environment to study. Now, moving on to this more, you need to also change your location once you're studying. Now, if you've planned that you want to study for 5 or 6 hours a day, which is a lot of studying in a day, you want to obviously move locations, because it's not good to sit in the same chair for 6 hours straight when you're studying. So moving around and say outside of the house, studying somewhere different, can really help you because it brightens up your studying, it changes stuff up and you're excited for it. And it can also improve your motivation to study more, because you know there's something different to look forward to, and it can help you to study more effectively rather than just sitting down in the same desk for 6 hours straight. So that's another factor that can help you study for longer hours. I've talked about all the main tips you need to help you study for longer hours. There is a bonus tip which I like to share with you, and that is apps that can help boost your productivity, and most importantly apps that help you to stay more focused. And these are two apps that I'll mention. The first one being Forest. If you haven't heard of what Forest is, it's basically a focusing app in which the main idea is you open the app up and there's a tree that's planted, and for as long as you study, that tree starts to grow and it forms more trees. If you exit the app, or if you touch your phone or go on anything else, then it's going to die out. So it's best for you to keep whatever you've built up, not just your knowledge but something different. It's a new approach to help you to focus more if you do find yourself struggling to focus whilst you're studying. And app number two is Brain FM. When many students start to work, they prefer to listen to music that they enjoy. Now, the problem with listening to music that you enjoy is that you're enjoying that music and you're not focusing on your studying. So it's best to listen to focusing music, focusing sounds, which can help you to study more effectively. So this app basically releases calm and focusing sounds which can help you, and it's apparently scientifically proven to help you study more. So it's obviously worthwhile checking out if you're a student who just loves to listen to music. So these are all the tips that I wanted to share. I have left all the links in the description for the apps that I've mentioned and anything else that I mentioned. Do leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, because only 11% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I do want to reach 1,000 subscribers by July next year. It's a big goal, but if you subscribe, you'll help me reach that goal. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.